If you're just joining us, these are our 15-minute lunch breaks. And the concept here is, let's put some good information out there in smaller, more digestible, to go with the lunchtime theme puns, bits, things that we can kind of just bite off, for 15 minutes. The presentation itself takes about 10 minutes. We always leave time for Q&A, and we just want to do a lot of these. And then, of course, post them to our website. They're on our Facebook page as well if you want to share them. But what we want to try to do is get, little bits of information out over, a period of time here with our 15-minute lunch break. So and if you haven't been with us before, we are First Name, and First Name is all about personalized, scalable donor engagement. We want to use tools and technology and tactics to be able to reach a lot more people with a more personalized donor experience, from the annual fund to the mid-level program up to the major gifts program. We have technology for giving days, for crowdfunding, for causes, for personalized microsite production at scale. Let's say you want to send 15,000 microsites to your mid-level donors that's personalized by their name and with some other information about them, like giving history and content that aligns with that. And you want to do it in a matter of about 30 minutes. We've got a technology platform that we're launching later this month, actually, that can do exactly that. So yes, we have a lot of technology, and of course we have our services, but ultimately we're trying to empower fundraisers to be more effective and more efficient through all of these tools. Fundraising is about people, and we want to make sure that the people who are doing the fundraising are really able to perform at their highest and at their best through technology and the services that we offer. And one of the ways that we do that is through authentic video. So authentic video, it's, sometimes we call it amateur, although I don't like necessarily using that word, because a lot of people are professional videographers who are using this more authentic approach. And really what that means is it just feels more real. It's more sincere. It's not that really high level, very glossy, very polished video content. And it works extraordinarily well. We've been seeing it in study after study for years. We've been experiencing it, anecdotally with our client partners in the campaigns that we're doing. And this is a set of statistics from ThankView. And what we're looking at here is sort of this uploaded video versus the webcam video. So when you flip on a webcam and record something, it's almost always going to be more authentic because it's just not a lot of production value in something like this, versus a video that you upload, which could be produced by a video production company, for example. So typically the webcam video is going to be, technically lower quality in terms of production value. But in terms of, quality and how it performs, it typically outperforms that uploaded video. You see here, watch start to finish. That's a huge metric. When donors watch a video or prospects watch a video from start to finish, 57% of them, that's a Google statistic, will go on to make a gift to your organization. So that start to finish number is that watch to completion number, it's very important. That webcam, more authentic video, 61% versus 47% for the uploaded video. Still both very good numbers, incredible watch to completion numbers. But again, the webcam video does a lot better. Even more importantly, the call to action, which is often give now, fulfill your pledge, sign up, become a volunteer, whatever it is. If we're trying to get them to click that button somewhere on the screen, that webcam, more authentic video significantly outperforms the often more higher quality uploaded video, 15% to 10%. So authentic video works really well. Let's talk about some specific ways that we can actually deploy authentic video for fundraising results. And let's start with the major gift space. We do a lot of digital development officer programs. In a lot of cases, we just help development officers who aren't digital development officers use some of these online modern video-based tactics more effectively. How? Well, for example, let's say you have a donor's plaque that's being installed, or a brick is going in, or maybe their name is going over a doorway. It's in the construction phase, right? They're not there to see it. The social media manager for your organization, your nonprofit, your institution is probably not going to take the time to go and get video of each and every single plaque or brick or even name going over a doorway. But you can, because you're the development officer and you know who it is, who that would appeal to and who that would matter to. So simply taking out your phone, walking down the hallway, showing them where their name is fixed on this permanent structure because of their giving history, that's a really nice touch point, unexpected, and something that can really endear you to the donor, to the prospect. There's let's say a lunchtime conversation, and the donor or prospect has a question for your executive director who's not there at the time. But it's really easy for you to go back, and next time you're actually connecting with that executive director in person, pull out your phone, ask that same question, have the executive director answer that question, send that question and that answer back to the donor or prospect via text message, via WhatsApp, via Facebook message, DM, what have you, or email. Again, a really effective use of authentic video. And of course, always saying thank you. Any way you can personalize a thank you for a donor goes a long way. Just a few ideas of how some of our digital development officers or development officers using digital are actually very effectively taking authentic video, just using their phone to be effective. In the mid-level space, there's so much opportunity for digital in the mid-level space. When we talk about scaling personalization, that's one of our biggest areas of focus because so many organizations have thousands or tens of thousands, or even more, hundreds of thousands in some cases, people who are in that mid-level range, but really don't get much more than a slightly glorified annual fund treatment. Personalized video through really savvy, sophisticated digital gift officers is a great way to engage those mid-level donors in a much more personal, much more meaningful, much more impactful, much more substantive way. Zoom, we've all been using it, right? But there are different ways in which we can use Zoom more effectively for this group. For example, right this minute, we have one of our client partners with a giving day where they have 2 different Zoom meetings. So this gift officer has been using video to warm an audience for several weeks. It's been going really well. The audience has responded incredibly well. And now we get to a giving day and we want to make $1,000 asks of those donors in this mid-level program. Well, there's a lot of one-on-one outreach as a gift officer, but there's so many people, hundreds of them have been really effectively warmed and have opened every single email over the past month. So we want to give them an opportunity en masse to kind of come together to share their stories and hopefully make some gifts in a group exercise. So we have 2 Zoom meetings, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, with a digital development officer who's been very, very effective at using video to bring people to this point. One of the tactics, bookending. So she's been taking videos and adding just personalized introductions to them. These are videos that were produced for the giving day, but she's been able to kind of put her face on them. In some cases, address donors by first name. In other cases, address them as a segment, and really give it that authentic feel, the realness, something that captures a person's attention because they hear their name, and then they stick around and watch that whole video, which gets them to that video completion, watch to completion stage. And once they've done that, more than half of them will go on to make a gift. So, bookended, even a short duration. You don't necessarily have to bookend a piece. It could just be a 15 or 20-second video that, you shoot from your phone or your webcam and you send it out. Live events, it's another one, for mid-level, where we've seen some of the digital development officers in this space, be really effective at inviting people to live events like a Facebook Live, for example, or something like this webinar, where we can discuss things that are happening at the organization or institution. And then there's the annual fund. Again, lots and lots of opportunities here as well. And as we have technology, we can increasingly personalize that experience. So you can do things like have interviews with people who've benefited from your mission, kids who've grown up through your school or your program or your camp, or have, been, part of a child empowerment movement or a women's empowerment movement overseas, or whatever it is, the focus of your organization is. Having those video interactions with people who have benefited from that and are better off because of it, that's really inspiring content. You can do live looks into the field. You can take people on a tour of, again, the impact of their dollars. You can do regular updates with leadership. Again, having an executive director or a president sit down and do sort of a monthly recap on all the top issues. Doesn't need to be more than 2 or 3 minutes long, but seeing that leadership person, addressing some of the top concerns your audience would most certainly have is very important. And then there's the bookended work for the annual giving space. And this is really exciting because, this can, again, scale that personalization. I mean, we know personalization works. There is a 94% increase in conversions on outreach that is personalized versus non-personalized outreach. Just simply putting a person's name at the top of a website or at the beginning of a video goes a long way towards leading them towards whatever action it is you're hoping that they take. So how do we do that at scale, right, for an annual giving program or an individual giving program? Well, let's say you just record the 100 most common names in your database, all the Tom, Jerry's, Sarah's, Maria's, Mohammed's, all those names that are most common, take the top 100 of them and then record bookended introductions for every single one of them. Now, this is where technology comes into play, because if you have the right technology, you can then use that platform to take all of those videos and automatically send them out, just like you would an email merge field, to everyone in your database. So by recording 100 names, you could theoretically be sending thousands of personalized messages, video messages out to donors and prospects. On a much smaller scale, again, you can do this without technology too. Now there's tricky, there's sophisticated ways of working with something like a MailChimp, where you might be able to do something along these lines. But really, you probably want to find a technology platform to sort of scale that personalization. Again, really important to have that scaled piece, because if we combine that authentic video, that realness, that sincerity around video that feels like it really is coming straight from the heart, because it is in more of a way. It's not as scripted, it's not as structured, it's not as polished. You can have a lot of success. And then when you combine it with technology that allows you to personalize at scale and send thousands of donors and prospects videos and websites that address them by first name and speak directly to their giving history and the impact that they have had specifically on the organization, that's where we really start seeing some significant movement in the reactions and the actions of people around fundraising, volunteerism, anything else you're hoping to accomplish. So that was our quick bit around authentic video. There's, of course, a lot more to talk about on that. So I'll throw my email up here in just a second. If we have any questions, there's the Q&A section on Zoom. Please use that. Or you can use chat, drop it either or, and I will go ahead and read those in a second. We are taking a break, so we've done 3 in a row now. Not going to do one next week, but the following week, Wednesday, April the 21st, we're going to talk about warming prospects with a custom audience. This is paid digital. How do you use Facebook, Google Ads, and other paid resources and tools to actually warm your audience towards an action, to drive a higher conversion rate on, say, a giving day or an end of calendar year or an end of fiscal year campaign? How can you drive higher conversions, more giving activity by warming your audience using these paid and in some cases organic tools? It's a really exciting topic. My colleague Zach Corbin will be leading that. So join us again for Wednesday, April 21st, looking at paid digital advertising and warming prospects with a custom audience. To wrap up today, again, democratize your video for real fundraising success. Provide as many people as possible with the tools they need to engage donors and prospects. If you have questions for me, I'm Justin at firstname.co on email. We're on Twitter at firstname_, and then firstname.co is our website. So again, if you have any questions, drop them in Q&A or in chat. And let's see. The first one I'm getting right now is, what tools do you need for this work? Is there editing software? Is there that we would recommend? And, if you're on a Mac, iMovie's built in. If you're on PC, we usually recommend our client partners use a platform called OpenShot, also free. Works much in the same way that iMovie works. A lot of times phones, I know an iOS phone, so an iPhone would have, a iMovie built directly into it. But even simpler than that, if you have experimented with Loom, that's Loom, it's a wonderful sort of web-based platform. It's an app that you can drop on your laptop and it pops up a recorder. And what I love about that is it's so simple for doing those short 15, 20, 30-second bits. If you want to knock off 30 messages to your top donors and prospects and you want to just want to look clean, right? No editing, no splicing or anything like that. Just a hi, how you doing? This is what's coming up this month. We'll see you at the gala. Can't wait. Again, thank you for your support, that type of message, right? But you don't want that. You don't want the beginning of the video where it's kind of clumsy and you're fooling around with your mouse, and you don't want the end of it where you're again trying to figure out where the stop recording button is. Loom is great for that because it has a super simple trim button that you can take the beginning and the back and even pieces in between. You can cut some stuff out in the middle if you'd like, and then kind of bring that down. It creates a web link for you. I think the version where for any videos 5 minutes or under, if that's all you're doing, and in most cases you are, it's free. So Loom is a really good tool. There's a lot more. There's some that are paid, some that are very good that are paid. So again, that's another thing. If you're wondering about the tools, software, hardware, again, please follow up via email. Let's see, one more it looks like. What is the right balance between authentic video and high quality productions? That's a really good question in terms of balance. I don't have a ratio for you. I think it's more a matter of how you're using the video. What does a scenario call for? For all of those one-to-one engagements, if instead of typing up an email, you'd rather speak it to a person and you want to send it to them, that's authentic video, right? If it's a quick thank you, something really of the moment during a giving day, you want to urgently get a thank you out to someone that has their name in it and talks about the fund they're supporting, that's authentic video. If you have a gala and it's a $50,000 table event and you've got a big screen set up and everything else, then you're going to put production value into it. There are certainly still points in time where high production value to really wow your audience is effective. I mean, still probably to this day the most effective fundraising video in history. If anybody remembers Kony 2012, it's Kony, I think 2012. That's how, what was it, Invisible Children, I think? One of the large NGOs around child welfare around the world really launched because of a video that was a half an hour long. It was like a micro movie focused on, this dictator type person in Africa who, was causing a lot of hardship for people, and they really wanted to highlight this person. And the idea was, in 2012, we removed this guy. Like that was kind of, I think I'm getting that right. It's been a while. It's been 9 years, 2012. But anyway, the point here is not necessarily what the video was about. It was very, very high production value, cinematic, Hollywood style movie. And it was viewed, boy, I don't know, 250 million times. Several hundred million people watched that video, and it absolutely launched the small nonprofit from what was essentially a garage style operation to one of the more formidable and impactful child welfare organizations in the world. So there's, when you have the resources and you've got brilliant video producers and you can produce really high-end quality content for certain points in time, for big initiatives, for high dollar events, for 8 and 9 figure donors who really need to be wowed with a virtual experience, then yes, then there's value in that high production. But the thing is, none of us have the resources to produce that kind of video on a daily basis. And really, we want almost daily video produced. So we look at our student engagement centers and our digital engagement centers and our student engagement teams for all of our higher education clients. We have students producing 2 or 3 or 4 new videos every single week, because we know if we can get that video out there on social media with organic and paid means, people are going to see it, they're going to engage with it, it's going to increase their likelihood to give. We're going to retain more people because we're telling a story. I mean, donors say the number one reason why they stop giving is due to poor, vague, or irrelevant content. Well, if we've got students talking about their experience on a daily basis, several times a week across social media and email and text message, we're going to significantly increase retention, not to mention drive up acquisition. So that's the thing. You want to democratize it so you can get that volume. The volume of video is very high if you really want to be effective at engaging people across the digital sphere, and of course we do. So again, there's always going to be a place and a time for just awe-inspiring, extraordinarily well-produced video. We didn't even talk about virtual reality. I've seen some incredibly moving and powerful virtual reality experiences. And that's the highest end. We're talking several $100,000s to really get that right, just for one video experience. But again, very few people have that kind of, very few organizations have that kind of money. So the authentic piece, that fills in the gaps, that keeps people engaged. It is more impactful, it drives more empathy, it interacts with our brain differently than written or still imagery. And that's why we want to get that authentic video up as well. Okay, I'm not seeing any more questions or comments here. So once again, thank you so much for joining us on these 15-minute lunch breaks. If you have any questions, please do follow up. Of course, you can find me on LinkedIn as well. And hope to see you in 2 weeks, where we'll talk about paid digital advertising, forming prospects with a custom audience. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful rest of your week.